We are back. The last 2 to 3 weeks, I've been beating around the bush. I've been like, YouTube, I'm gonna do YouTube, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that. Today's video is not a workout video. It's not something educational. It's a bit about me. I literally just want to talk about certain situations that have passed and just explain like why I haven't been able to do YouTube, and I hope all this kind of makes sense and like what kind of situation I'm in right now. Where to start? There's so much to literally tell. Okay, so I'm just gonna wing this one, right? No edits, no cuts, nothing, just wing it completely. So we were working for a gym called NC Fitness. Well, I was working for a gym called NC Fitness for the last like two to 2.5 years, and that ended swiftly out of nowhere. And currently now I'm still training there. You'll still see me record their videos, workouts. I'm still personal training there. Don't work for the gym anymore, nothing to do with the gym. I'm working now for a gym called Fingal Body Transformations in Swords. Yeah, atmosphere is good, everything is great, and I'm actually quite happy working up there. But I am 100% self-employed. Fingal Body Transformations do not pay me. I'm a personal trainer up there. I'm 100% self-employed, so I literally do my own thing. I'm not employed by anyone, so I'm 100% running my online business, my personal training business, and things like that. So I've been working, and this is the big thing. This is, if you don't want to hear kind of what I've got to say, you know, skip this video. But if you're interested in some juicy goss, I would stay tuned. So, but first, before you hear what I've got to say, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. I'll show a few emojis all around the screen, and yeah, make sure you do that. So, I've been working on a project. And when I say project, I mean like a massive project. Let's just call it Project X because it's simple to understand. So when I refer to Project X, obviously I'm talking about something I'm working on. So over the last, I'd say 4 months, I've been starting to kind of be conscious of things around me and businesses and stuff and all these different things, and I've been just getting clued into like stuff a little bit more, like when I'm doing my accounts at the end of the year, because like I said, I'm fully self-employed. So when I do my accounts and stuff, I'm asking questions, I'm trying to learn, I'm trying to do this, and I'm doing these courses and seminars, and I'm just becoming more aware and just becoming like, I'm not getting any younger. So the last year training was a massive priority, and that kind of took a back seat when I started noticing other things and other opportunities and work, and you know, had to save and had to do this and all these different things. But yeah, Project X is something that I can't fully announce yet. I will give you like a little teaser, so like there you go. And yeah, so I'm working on something that can theoretically change my life for the better, like literally transform my life. Yeah, it's something quite big and something that I'm really proud of, something that I've put a lot of hard work into, something that I've done completely by myself up until now, like this video. If I receive help from the future or blah blah blah, I don't know, but something that I've done completely all by myself. Just hours and hours of work, everything going into it. Just, it will all make sense when I get to announce it. But the reason I'm telling you this is not because I want you to be like, oh yeah, he's, you know, he's talking shit. It's because I wasn't able to record YouTube videos because I was my days consisted of meeting with this person, meeting with that, doing this, doing that, things that all correlated to this Project X, and things I just couldn't talk about because nothing is 100% set in stone yet, and it's still not set in stone, but it's you know, 80%, I'm 85% sure. Like, I'm just waiting on a few things, and then as soon as I know, then I can announce it and literally say what it is. But until then, I can't. So obviously these were always holding me back because I was trying to talk, and I was trying to, you know, keep you out of a part of my life. I was trying to like not show you this part or not show you that part or not show you Fingal because of other things and because of situations that have happened. So I found that recording videos was very, very difficult to do. It was just, there was no content. I was hiding stuff. I was keeping, it was just food and training, and there was no like, I don't know, it just wasn't flowing. I was recording videos and deleting them and not liking the content that I was putting up. So like I had a video, 2 or 3 videos recorded after the one I put up there after coming back, and it just was the same. I was hiding stuff. I was, you know, catching myself and trying to edit things out, and it was just a lot of work. So I'm gonna fill you in on things like meetings, things, phone calls, show you little teasers up until I can fully announce it, but I can't actually announce it. I don't want to promise something and then it not happen. So like that's a big thing of mine. But so that is kind of like a business talk, and that is kind of like to the business aspect of my life. So to kind of like little small recap on that, like Project X is coming. I'm working for a gym in Swords, completely self-employed, and number 3, this is what I want to talk about. So finally I've set a date to compete, and I'm gonna post a picture that I posted up on my Instagram right now, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. So back in January 2016, I decided that I wanted to do a physique show. So when I first set up my YouTube channel, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was straight into fitness. I was, you know, maybe 6 to 9 months of fitness behind me. Wasn't well educated, wasn't 100% sure if that was what I wanted. I knew I had a passion, but I wasn't 100% sure if YouTube was for me, if it was something that I wanted to do, if I wanted to live my life on camera. You know, I didn't have a love for it straight away. I just kind of jumped into it without the decision. I thought it would be a good idea, and it was a great idea. I loved every minute of it, but I didn't know that at the start. So when I jumped into it, the first thing I thought was, what do I do? And I looked at other YouTubers and I seen that they were competing in shows, and I never really assessed myself in terms of body composition, like size, strength, etc., all these different things. I trained in a very local gym, a very small gym, maybe like 600 to maybe 900 members, and we wouldn't have had a lot of bodybuilders or nothing bodybuilding orientated in it. So I would have walked around all the time thinking, geez, I'm the man, or, you know, like there's no one massive in here. I wouldn't have known that side of bodybuilding. I wouldn't have known physique. I wouldn't be around these people who have been there and done it and, you know, experienced it and have the years and years and years of training behind them. So I just thought, oh, I'll just jump into a contest and it'll be grand. Like, sure, I train every day, so, you know, what, saying, you know, it's a sport, so why not I do it? What happened was I started my contest prep in, I think it was February or like the late January, and I was 165 pounds, probably 12% body fat, maybe a little bit more. So not a lot of muscle, like not a lot of lean mass carrying at all. And I decided to start cutting. 1 to 2 weeks went well, and then I started to drop carbs. I was like afraid I wasn't going to be on time. I was like 10 weeks out and I was like, still had a small little bit of fat around my stomach and stuff, and I was like, shit, I'm not going to be shredded. I'm going to be absolutely conditioned. I'm going to be the most conditioned on stage. And I wasn't thinking about, you know, like posing and things like these, and important parts of the aspect of, you know, like mental health and stuff as well, keeping all that. So I just decided to cut out carbs and decided to increase cardio. And the lowest weight I got down to was 159 pounds, and the picture correlates with that weight. I'll post another picture. I never remember looking like this. Like it's weird to look back and think I looked like this 16, 17 months ago, but I did. So that's me. I know, unfortunately, that was me at one stage in my life, and I was just, it wasn't until Nicole said it to me one day, like, Ryan, you look sick, you know, you look sick, like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, no, nothing, I'm just competing, like, you know, you go through this is what you go through, like, this is what everyone says, you go through this. No, man, it wasn't. It was, I peaked way too early, I cut way too early, and I just ran myself into the ground, started picking up cold sores, cuts, everything, sores, everything, the whole lot, and I just ran myself into the ground. And I over-restricted myself for 3 to 4 weeks, and funny story is I never ever planned on bulking. I over restricted myself, and I actually put myself in I gave myself an eating disorder for maybe 3 to 4 months. So what happened was I over restricted myself so bad that I absolutely binged like a fucker. I was like, just give me everything. I'm gonna say I was literally emotionally eating. It was a bitter pill for me to swallow when people will come up and ask me and say, oh, how was your competition going? Are you excited? And I had to tell them that I wasn't doing it. I'd announced on YouTube that I was doing it, and I never announced that I was dropping out. And I just kind of was like, shit, I'm a failure, and I'm very tough on myself. And straight up, like, I was a bitter pill to swallow, and I was like a little bit upset about the whole thing, and I just couldn't bear with myself. I couldn't look at myself. So all I done was I started focusing on work. I started focusing on eating, and I trained 5 days a week, took the weekends off, and just ate what I wanted. But Monday to Friday, I was only talking about this the other day, if you were to calculate how many calories I was taking in, because I didn't track for the 3 months, I just literally binged every single day. Now I did train every five days a week, maybe 6 days a week, and I was training quite intense because as I was eating more I was getting stronger and stronger and stronger, but I didn't notice it until I was around 6 weeks in, and I said, Jesus, like, I'm after bulk. I'm like putting on a little bit, my arms are getting a little bit bigger, I didn't have as many veins, I wasn't as vascular, or I wasn't as cut or whatever, but I was starting to get bigger and I was starting to get stronger, and I hit like a PB on the bench before, and I just noticed, like, Jesus, like, it's quite fun to be strong. So I kept eating and I kept eating and I kept eating. Same again, like, I was doing things like having white bread with like dinner and stuff, things I would never ever do. Like, I literally gave myself an eating disorder, and all this stuff went on for about 3 months. And I have a Strength Shop lever belt, and they only come in small, medium, large, extra large, etc. I have like a medium, I think it is. Essentially, you screw it, you move the lever kind of like across as you get fatter or as you get skinnier, vice versa. So I had to keep widening about every 4 weeks. And they're expensive, they're about 150 quid, pushing 170. And I remember, because Nicole bought it for me, I went to put it on, it kept moving out. I was on the very last hole, and I was like putting it on one day and it wouldn't fit. My waist had obviously gotten too thick and too big, and purely, fat, like, because I have pictures on my Instagram and stuff from when I was like 200 pounds, but I never weighed myself the entire bulk, let's call it a bulk, the dirty bulk, and as soon as the belt didn't fit, I knew the next day I needed to stop. I said, like, Ryan, you're just, you're gonna turn into one of those lads that looks like he has a beer belly and just sits in the pub and eats and sits on the couch. So with that, then weighed myself the next day, was 205 pounds, there and thereabouts, and I just dropped weight a little bit, came down to around 190, and I've kind of comfortably been sitting there and thereabouts at 190, weighed in 195, 193, just as the start of my prep, but that was after a carb loading day, like a cheat meal kind of day. So that's expected, because I'm gonna be holding a lot of heavy foods and holding a lot of water. But I'm competing this year on October 17th, and I just really much want to document my prep. It's 21 weeks away. I want to bring you through. I want to show you. The reason why I made this video is because I want you to kind of see that it's okay to make mistakes. I thought it was going to be breeze, just sail through without a doubt, just win, the whole lot, and that was it. But it was a very bitter pill to swallow. It was very tough for me to actually say, no, I'm not doing it. And I learned a lot in the last 16 months. I've kind of like matured in terms of training, in terms of a person, and I really want to bring a really good physique this October 17th. And yeah, feel free to message me if you want to compete, if you're ever thinking of competing. Let's train together, let's work together, etc. I'm all about making friends along the way. We're all on the same journey, essentially. We're all striving. I'm not going to be the best competitively. I'm a competitive person. I would like to maybe do it competitively in the future, but right now it's just all about just changing my life, you know, setting goals, hitting them, in terms of I've got a few things that, like I said, that are going on in my life, and this is one thing that I'm focusing on. Project X is another thing I'm focusing on, setting goals, making sure I'm hitting them, and just working hard, just pretty much putting the work in. And if you want to join, by all means join. Let's go. October 17th. It's 21 weeks away, I think. 21 weeks. And there's a few shows. Now, I've never done a physique show. I've never posed. I'm a little bit stiff. You know, when I do a little bit, like, just myself, I'm stiff. I know I am. I haven't got that fluid, kind of fluidness that you need. So that will be a big kind of confidence kind of thing for me. So there is a show on September 10th that I was considering doing. So if I'm like, I don't want to be ready, I want to be maybe like 1 week out, like theoretically for my main contest, but I want to be ready there or thereabout September 10th. Jump on stage September 10th, get the experience, get the eyes, get the you know, the feedback off people, what do you need to work on. And then over the 3 to 4 weeks prior to the next, the main one is, so it's the nationals, it's the Euro BBF nationals. So essentially, if you win, if you place, you can actually go and do a European competition. So yeah, I'm excited to see what this year has to bring. I want you to, you know, make sure you subscribe. There's a lot of content coming, and as soon as Project X can be released to use, you're going to be just as excited as I am. It's going to change, you know, everything. It really is. I have a really strong feeling about it, and you know, just let's October 17th. I'm excited.